Hey there, welcome to the Astro Psyche. This is your weekly astrology for July 31st through August 6th. This week we have a full moon in the sign of Aquarius, and we also have Mars-Jupiter aspect, really a lot of channeling energy and channeling action into new things. And then we have Mercury and Saturn making an aspect as well. So this week feels like there's a lot of focused energy, and where you may feel a lot of motivation to go forward, to get things done, more action oriented versus emotional processing that we've had over the last couple of weeks. So, to start us off, I'm going to pull just one oracle card to sort of get a vibe, get a tone for this week for you. This is from the Sacred Earth Oracle. Ooh. So this card is called Potential. And I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there's one figure, and they look like they have this sort of headdress thing on the top of their head, and then it looks like there's another figure that's sort of like emerging from their chest. And I'm going to read the guidebook, but when I see this, this is really connecting into some of the transits that we're going to talk about, but it feels like there's a lot of potential. It feels like there is a potential in you that is like wanting to come out, which I really like for you. It feels like it's time. Okay, let's see here. All energy can be harnessed and used in a myriad of ways. Just as elite athletes learn to use nervous energy to better their performance, it's up to you to draw on the energy stored in a negative experience to fuel your motivation, determination, or creativity. Use whatever life sends you to your advantage. You can sit with the potential within you, or you can release it. It is your choice. This is not a matter of circumstance, ability, or worthiness. Convert a possibility into reality. Wow, that is really cool. I'm going to put this right here so that we can refer back to it. So what's happening in the astrology this week? So we are moving toward a full moon. This is happening on Tuesday, August 1st, full moon in Aquarius. And so full moon is about celebrations, it's about culminations, it's about the full expanse, the full experience being illuminated, being presented to us. And when we have a full moon in Aquarius, this means that we've had the sun moving through the sign of Leo. So again, happy birthday to my Leo people. And we have this polarity of Leo, Aquarius. Now, both of these signs are fixed signs. Leo is a fire sign, could be fashion as well. Fire signs are about passion, enthusiasm, leadership, and really, like, there's a lot of energy in fire signs. Aquarius is an air sign. And so air signs are about movement, about communication, sharing new ideas. And Aquarius is about humanitarian endeavors. It's about collective ideas. It's about groups. And it's about how it is that we can feel like we're a part of something while maintaining our own unique integrity and individuality. It's about this, it's kind of like the attention of things where it feels like they may be in conflict with each other, but they actually sort of go together. Because Aquarius is about really wanting to be a part of something, wanting to feel connected to a collective, whether that is a group where you share common values or feeling connected to other humans. It's wanting to feel like it's not just you in the world. It's wanting to feel like you're doing something to better the world as well. At the same time, Aquarius is about really maintaining your unique individuality, and not even that, but just being protective against sacrificing parts of yourself in order to be a part of the collective. And for folks who have Aquarius placements in their birth chart, this can be really challenging because it can sort of feel impossible to be a part of the collective without having to make some sacrifices. And so the Aquarius storyline is this constant navigation of, how do I stay true to myself? How do I ruthlessly maintain my authenticity and not buy into any bullshit that is sacrificing part of who I am so that I can buy into what's normal? Aquarius is very much about revolting and rebelling against what's normal or what's status quo or what is expected. And this connects in with Leo too, because Leo is about being adored and appreciated. Folks with Leo placements, it's so important that they feel seen and adored and loved, and that they feel like they can, there's almost this performance element to it, but it's, for Leo folks, it's like, it's not that you want to be adored for your performance. You really want to be adored for who you are. And sometimes that can be perceived as a performance. So both of these signs, Aquarius and Leo, are really about being seen, being accepted, and authentic self-expression. So this kind of dance between group and self. And so, of course, folks that have placements in Aquarius and Leo, you're always going to be sort of working that out and experiencing that over the course of your lifetime. And we all collectively get to experience these themes when we have this full moon in Aquarius this week. And so there's a lot that may come up for you this week around self-expression, around feeling included, around even things like friendship and feeling like you have a group or a community or a collective, or maybe you feel like you don't have those things. And I'm coming back to this card here of potential, that there is a lot of potential here within you in your own unique, creative, authentic way of being. This is the other thing about Aquarius, is that Aquarius folks have a lot to offer, but they can sometimes kind of feel like they're not received and like their ideas are too weird. And so there's a lot of potential here for you. There's a lot of potential for you to express yourself, and there is a lot of potential to be received as well. So I want you to know that and to really take that in, that this is the thing with Aquarius, is there can be a tendency to kind of shy away and to pull away for fear of rejection, and to notice how you respond to that. Is your tendency to pull away? Is it to do the opposite, to go in even when you're not being appreciated or received, and to notice what feels good, to how to manage that sort of dynamic. Now, a part of this full moon is that Jupiter is squaring the sun and the moon. So Jupiter's in Taurus, and it's creating this sort of a T shape in the chart when we look at it. And Jupiter is about inclusivity, social justice, diversity, exploring different viewpoints, different perspectives. It's about experiencing alternate cultural contexts. It's about spirituality, religion, beliefs, belief systems, faith. It's really also at a very core level about expanding our capacity for understanding. It's about growth. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see how we feel, because Jupiter is a benefic planet. It tends to show where there's an opening of possibility, new opportunities, and it's in a square aspect here, which is a little tense. It means there's usually a little bit of tension around something, or maybe where we need to make a compromise to get what we want, or not. Or maybe it feels like there's a compromise that needs to be made. So I would just kind of notice that, and kind of notice where there is an opening of possibility, and how can you receive more? How can you be open to receive the things that you want, and the things that bring more life force and vitality and energy into your life, versus some of the more challenging sides of Jupiter, which is when things feel like it's too much, it's too overwhelming, like too busy, or either too much or like biting off more than you can chew. That's kind of also a way that this can manifest. And so, yeah, like checking in with yourself and noticing what is life enhancing versus overwhelming. Now, an asset that we have here, a resource that we have with this Jupiter energy, is that Mars in Virgo is going to be making a trine to Jupiter. And this is about having a lot of energy and motivation and enthusiasm, because Mars is about action, confrontation, getting shit done, like really going forward. It's also related to the physical body, and even just like our muscular vitality. So when we have Mars Jupiter like this, it tells me that you may feel really motivated, really excited about something, and that there may be an opportunity, Jupiter, to take action, Mars. Or that when you take action, it's kind of like things start to open up here. So, and Mars is in the sign of Virgo. It's sitting with Mercury, and so it's kind of like there's a lot of precision here with Mars, which I like as well. So I would at the same time though just notice that, how do I want to say this? Be strategic. That's the best way to, or not the best way, but one of the more beneficial ways to use Mars in Virgo is to be strategic and to avoid getting lost in the details, and in doing just for the sake of doing. It's like, this week I want you to be asking yourself, why am I doing this? Is this helpful? Is this serving my wider goals? Because I think when we have a week like this where we have a full moon and we have Jupiter involved, it can kind of be like where we're just sort of like wading through a mass of like lots of stuff going on. And so when you're taking action, Mars in Virgo, one tendency can be to sort of like drill into the details. And sort of a more pleasant way of working through that is to use the Virgo discernment. It's like, okay, is this action or this task or whatever it is that I'm working on, is this for me? Is this for someone else? Why am I doing this? Like, does it actually serve my Jupiterian goals, my vision for myself? And the last piece of this astrology for this week is that we have Mercury, again in Virgo, right? Mercury is going to be opposite Saturn. And so this is another tense aspect. Mercury Saturn can show where we tend to overthink things, where we may have more of like a Mercury is the mind, it's the thought process, it's analytical thinking. Saturn is about structure, boundaries, devotion, responsibility. And Mercury Saturn can feel a little heavy. It can be a great transit for doing any kind of like research work, or where you really need to hunker down on a project and devote Saturn your mental energy, Mercury. And it can also be a time where we maybe get into like negative thinking, or feeling like we're, not smart enough or not good enough, or we should have said X, Y, and Z. And so the best way to use this, to work with this, is to notice the thoughts that you're having, and to, as much as you can, be really gentle with yourself. And if you are having negative thoughts, or even if that's something that you're prone to having negative thoughts, or even like when I say negative, Mercury Saturn is negative in that it can be kind of like self-critical. It can be critical towards others, but oftentimes it's turned inward. And so if you're having that, to know that number one, that's normal, that a lot of us have that, and to question those thoughts. Do I really know that this is true? Can I be absolutely sure? And this is from Byron Katie's The Work. Can I be absolutely sure that this is true? Am I making assumptions about what happened? Am I sort of like catastrophizing? Am I making it sound worse than it actually is? And I think that we can do some reparenting with ourselves here, where we have this too of like, oh, like I'm noticing that I feel like critical, or I'm having this kind of like really judgmental tone toward myself when I have these kinds of thoughts. And like, I wonder what's going on there. And I wonder, why I'm having those thoughts, and where that comes from. And if we can sort of like question, and then bring in some non-judgment and some compassion in there too, that's going to help with that. So let's feel like that was a lot. And yeah, it feels like there's a lot that's happening this week. Full moons tend to be where there's like a fullness of experience. And then I think with Jupiter being so active in the transits, it's also like, yeah, there's a lot going on. And it feels more action oriented than the last couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks, we've had some astrology that's really around more like interpersonal dynamics and emotional processing. And so I think that this may be a week where you can kind of feel like there's some more movement, there's some more action. So all that being said, as best you can, find a centered place here. Focus on your breathing, focus on the sensations in your body. Okay. Okay, good cards here, powerful cards for you. This is from The Secrets of the Rose Tarot. Card number 1 is the Strength card. So I pulled this reversed, and the Strength card is, of course, about strength, but it's about inner strength. Whenever I see this card, it really says to me that there's work to be done around the ego, around inner strength, around confidence, self-esteem. And I'm really, in this particular deck, I'm really drawn to the wings of the figure here that's sitting with the lion. This card is a reminder that you are strong and that you have the inner strength. Like whatever it is that you're dealing with, it's an inside job. The challenge that you're dealing with, maybe it's global in your life, maybe it's a specific situation, but there's something here that's around facing your fears is a term that's popping into my head. I don't know that that's quite it, but it's like there's something here around facing your insecurities, facing your sense of like feeling not good enough or feeling like you can't do it. It's like, no, you can do it. And it's like, it's working with those feelings. It's working with that sense of feeling powerlessness. And that I pulled this reversed tells me that it's something that's actively happening to work on, and that's a key factor in whatever it is that you're working through here. And I may go back to that in a moment. Second card is the Tower card. So the Tower card is about radical change, reinventing your foundations. It has a very Uranian and Aquarius sort of vibe to it. It's about reinventing structures, and it's about especially change where a change has been needed for some time, where there's a foundation that you've been building on, and it's like that foundation is outdated in some way or hasn't been working for you. And so there is a major change that needs to happen. And of course, the Tower card is a card that also symbolizes where we feel like there's a disruption and it's like very inconvenient. At the same time, the underlying theme of this card is that change is ultimately going to help you, that the way that things were going was not sustainable. And this card is really about freedom and liberation. The third card is the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is about leadership, inner authority, and feeling a sense of confidence, especially in relationships and emotional matters. This is the cups. The cups are connected to our relationships. And the King of Cups in particular is about being in relationships with folks who are emotionally available. It's also about emotional maturity. And I pulled this card reversed too. So that's telling me that that's also something that's being processed here too, something that's being worked through. So I feel like this is kind of what I'm thinking here is it's like, okay, there's the strength. You're working on possibly feeling strong, feeling confident, feeling a strong sense of self-esteem. I'm also in this card really looking at the castle in the background, and it's like, that's like there's somewhere that you're going, there's a goal, there's a journey, there's a process, there's an end point that you want to get to. A part of that process is facing fears and insecurities in the now and like managing the fears and insecurities that you're experiencing now. And so that's going to create like maybe a little bit of change, maybe not a little bit of change, maybe a lot of change, right? That's going to, that facing your fears and insecurity is going to radically change your life, and it's going to open up new possibilities. And then that is going to lead to greater emotional maturity, greater emotional availability, and that sense of confidence that's rooted, not being like overly confident or egotistical, but confidence in that there is surety in yourself. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I am wishing you a wonderful week. Again, my name is Shauna McGrath. I am a psychotherapist and astrologer. If you resonate with my work and are interested in working with me, I would love to hear from you. You can find more on my website down below. And I'm sending you lots of love, wishing you so much ease and peace and joy in this week ahead. Bye for now.